Welcome to Sorry I'm a Bitch, the podcast for anyone who's ever been called a bitch. Hosted by Kaylee Ellis and produced by me, Hannah Laree.
Welcome back to Sorry I'm a Bitch. I'm your host, Kaylee, and today I've got some fun facts for you. Some are not so fun, mostly fun. Let's get into some not so fun right now. So I just found out that the divorce rate is actually up to 56%. I, like most of you, probably thought it was 50%. No, it's gone up. It's 56% right now. Millennials, what the fuck? How are we going to let the boomer generation have lower divorce rates than us? We cannot let them win. Stop getting divorced. Actually, maybe continue getting divorced, because I actually found out today that only 15% of married couples say that they're happy. Only 15% of you would choose your spouse again. The majority of people said, I probably wouldn't choose my spouse again if I could go back in time, but we have a house, we have kids, we go on vacations together. My life's kind of just how it is, so I'm going to stick with it. I'm not going to get a divorce, but if I could go back in time, I wouldn't choose this motherfucker. To me, if only 15% of marriages say that they would pick their spouse again, that to me leads me to believe that 85% of marriages are failures. So I thought about it with myself. I would absolutely choose Zach again. There was also a stat that said about 17% of people would choose to not have children after they've had children. 17% of those people would go back in time and not have children. I've thought about that too. And I was like, if I could go back in time, I would still obviously have Lydia. I would pick my spouse. I would also choose to still have my child. But I also knew that I only wanted one. I feel like if I had multiple, I would probably be like, I'd want to go back in time and maybe just have one. But I also knew that I would think that, and so I only had one. 85% of marriages, if they're saying, I don't want to be in a marriage, or if I could do it over again, I wouldn't choose this person, that to me is a failure. But I also understand, like, if Zach and I were having issues, we have the house. We have Lydia. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't exactly have, like, my own income. I think that I would just be like, well, let's stick with it, because already too far gone. Funny thing about affairs. I have a fun fact about affairs. 25% of married men cheat, and 15% of married women cheat, which is higher than I expected. Now, granted, I should rephrase this. 25% of married men admit that they have cheated, and 15% of married women have admitted that they have cheated. So the numbers are probably higher. Zach and I have talked about, like, what would lead to divorce? Like, what is your, all right, no way, I can't get over this moment? And for me, I said that it was violence against me or violence against Lydia. And for him, it was basically the same thing. Like, we both just couldn't get over, like, physical violence in the house with any family member. But neither of us had cheating. And I do think that's one of those things where, like, I could never see Zach cheating. So maybe that's why it's just, like, not on my radar. But if he did, I don't know. When I was researching this, a lot of women were talking about, well, he had to have done something. I didn't think that the man had to be, like, a horrible person and, like, not meeting needs for a woman to cheat. Now, I do think that there is more of an emotional hump that women have to get over to cheat, just because we're a little more rational. Not more emotional. We're a little more rational. Like, for me, if I were to cheat, I would destroy my entire life. I'd blow up my whole life. If Zach were to cheat and we divorce, he already pays for the house by himself and he can afford everything. So it's like his life doesn't really change much. If I cheat, I'm gone. My whole life changes. So I think men, why the reason why it's actually higher is because men are usually in a better position to cheat. Their lives don't really blow up as much as a woman's would. The other thing that I learned is the average marriage lasts 7 to 8 years. I think people choose the wrong person to marry, but I don't think you chose the wrong person for 7 to 8 years. And if I think about it, the reason for that, this is just speculation. This is all opinion. I have changed so much as a person in the almost 10 years that I've been married. Zach hasn't really changed much as a person. Zach's really like who I married. I am not. I was talking to one of my neighbors and she kind of shared the same sentiment. Her and her husband have been married. Oh my gosh, they have a 16-year-old. So, at least 16 years. And she said, I have evolved and my husband hasn't evolved. So I would imagine if you married someone in your 20s and it wasn't a very evolved person, and men don't evolve as much as women do, you probably would feel like you were still married to that 20-something-year-old child, essentially. Well, I think women in general, we have survived forever in an environment that is dangerous to us. So I think we just have to evolve to survive. And men don't really have to. I have to get smarter. Even when it comes to motherhood, I saw that as well, where I just instinctually knew certain things that Zach didn't. So I think there has to be something in us chemically. Women are amazing. Okay, here are some other fun facts. I like this one because I'm a nosy person. I do notice that when somebody dies, I want to know how so bad. And there's this graveyard, I believe it's in like Arizona or something, where it has tombstones and it tells you how that person died. Can we bring that back, please? It'd be more boring. Because obviously in the 1700s, 1800s, you've got people dying of died of a shootout after an argument with Billy Duvall. I don't know. Oh shit, not Billy Duvall. He's never lost a shootout. What was Percy Jackson doing getting in a fight with Billy Duvall? Anyways, and now it'd probably be like colon cancer. So it'd be not as interesting, but bring it back. Because then maybe if you're walking through, a graveyard, it reminds you, died of colon cancer. Oh shit, I got to schedule that colonoscopy. I think it could save lives. And I'll tell you why. People usually ask what happened when someone dies, not because they're nosy, but because it's a natural instinct to survive. We want to know so we can avoid it. Gossip saves lives. Okay. Penguins don't see humans as a threat because we are the only creatures that they have seen to walk on two legs. So they're like, they are like us. They are like us. So I don't know if they're just like, oh shit, some featherless penguins, ugly ass penguins walking up. The tall guys are here. Okay. So many men were dead from World War I that European universities had to let women attend to keep enrollment up because most attendees were dead. And that's why you can attend college. Yay, woohoo, dead guys. When Oxford University first opened, they didn't teach calculus because that shit wasn't invented yet. Oxford was invented before calculus. Oh, okay. Foxes are trying to domesticate themselves right now. They're trying to infiltrate your household, probably because they walked by someone's door, looked in, saw a little kitten on your couch, and they said, what? Ran home to their fox den, and they said, did you know cats are inside right now? We're outside, it's winter, I got little snowballs in my fur. Did you know that they're on couches and shit? They're watching TV. I saw one with a fucking remote. And they were like, well, shit, how'd they do that? They asked a cat, probably. And the cat said, "Oh shit, dude, we just domesticated ourselves. We just said, hey, we'll be your pet and we won't hurt you. We'll kind of hurt you, but not like life threatening." And then all of the foxes got together. They had a little fox HOA meeting and they said, we should do that shit. Moral of the story, we'll probably be able to have little pet foxes running around in a couple years. I don't know how long it'll take. I mean, if one came up to my door, knocked a little bit, I'd let him in. Okay. The planet Neptune has all 4 seasons, but each season lasts 40 years, which is fine for us because an Austin summer also lasts 40 years. Oh, I can relate to this one. Your brain can create false memories. And I knew that one already. I got to be honest with you because people are like, Kaylee lies. And I'm like, no, dude, I really thought that shit happened. I had a dream about it. And then I woke up, didn't even register that was a dream, thought that happened. I talked to a therapist one time. He was like, your brain can create false memories as a way of like protecting yourself. Like your brain knows that if you knew that information, you wouldn't be able to handle that shit. And I was like, wait, but if my brain's trying to protect me, why are you telling me this shit? You little bird brain bitch. I'm going to pay for you to give me trauma? Fuck y'all. In black and white movies, they would use milk for rain because water wouldn't show up on film. Milky rain. Milky rain. So, this is something everyone's going to have to know coming up because we're going to be eating a lot of this. Because if you think you're going to be eating your little avocado toasts and your little protein shakes and shit moving forward, no, baby. We're going to have food rations. And our grandparents are dying and they got dementia and they can't tell us how they lived off of food rations. So we're going to have to just learn from each other, learn from me that rice and beans is a complete meal. Each food has essential amino acids that the other one lacks, so they complete each other. It's a full meal. Also, there's going to be poop in our water soon. So that's super fun. I guess the only way to like get the poop out of your water is the reverse osmosis shit under your sink, which funnily enough, Zach and I spent like $8,000 to put one of those little bitches on our sink in Austin, and then we moved. That was stupid. Okay. The spinal cord has the same consistency of a ripe banana. Don't you feel like your spinal cord's falling out of your ass right now? Because I do. Okay. Oh, when you see a polar bear, those bitches have been stalking you for days. It's never safe to see a polar bear out in these streets. Let me tell you. A hummingbird weighs less than a penny. That could have been me if I stuck with Ozempic, let me tell you. Oh, your brain, when awake and functioning, has enough energy to power a light bulb. I don't know about mine. Maybe the average person. I feel like mine maybe is enough to power one of those little tiny light bulbs. I don't know about a full ass Edison bulb. But that's why they would put light bulbs above characters in cartoons when they figured something out. Let me read the replies. Mixed reviews. This person says, listen, the first time I was in a cartoon was 1920 with Felix the Cat. Method of measuring brain electricity. It was invented in 1924. That one I didn't fact check. Oh, in the 1960s, the average time a father would hold their baby each day was 20 seconds. What do you think those 20 seconds were doing? Do you think that they were just like, for a generation that wasn't loved and held, they really loved themselves a lot. The brain has a hard time telling the difference between physical and emotional pain. This is why chronic trauma and stress leads to chronic illnesses later in life. Yeah, I am safe from those chronic illnesses because it's hard for me to have emotional pain. I don't like that. So I just don't do it. Like, I feel like if someone was like, I'm going to hurt your feelings, I'd be like, good luck. You can try. Well, it's because I'm a Cancer. We got a little crab shell around us. So I can say your words just bounce off my little crab shell, bitch. I like genuinely have a hard time caring about people and like what they think. Now, if I hurt your feelings, you got to tell me that. So the thing about me is I say some weird shit and it sounds this way, but I actually mean it this way. But because I'm kind of stupid, I didn't know how to relay that without sounding like a dick. But if you never say like, hey, you hurt my feelings, then I never get a chance to tell you. So I'm just bebopping around my life thinking we're just like the best of friends and that you just had an amazing interaction with me. And I'm like, oh my God, that was so fun. And you're at home like, what a fucking bitch. But I do feel like a lot of people also go home and they're like, was I weird? Did I say that? Okay. We can tell that the megalodon is extinct based off of the speed of whales. The fact that whales can afford to be so slow shows that they're not prey. Because we know that the megalodon ate whales. Whale? What's the plural of whale? Whales? You know what? I don't care. You guys figure it out. Okay, most serial killers are considered to be extremely smart, but they're not. The police forces who investigate them are just really incompetent. I don't know if there's a way to fact check that one, but I don't think we need to. I think that we can just use common sense. Cows lay down before a storm rolls in because the barometric pressure drops and it gives them little tummy aches. Which stomach? All of their stomachs? When you're pregnant and sick or injured, the baby sends healing cells that can help. Which begs the question, I was sick my entire pregnancy. Do you think Lydia was just like, yeah, I could send some help, but I don't want to do that. Sorry. I feel like Lydia's the kind of kid where if I like fell down the stairs and needed help, she'd be like, can you make me mac and cheese? I'm hungry. I want apple juice. In history books, especially on the subject of slavery, history books will intentionally put pictures in black and white so it makes it look like it happened a lot longer ago than it actually did. This is so true because when I was in school, I thought slavery happened like so long ago. And then, you know, when I went to college and actually got a little bit of an education, I was like, wait, slavery happened when? Rosa Parks was alive when Shrek came out, dude. Also, civil rights. This pisses me off because white people, I feel like white people were like, yeah, civil rights. That sounds fucking cool. And then they killed John Lennon and JFK. And then white people were like, hold on a minute. Let's pivot. Do we want civil rights? Because I think we're going to get killed. Pussies. Also, there were not enough people protesting yesterday. I think about 3,000 people showed up to the protests in Indianapolis, which was great. Like, that is awesome. Like, that's a lot more than I expected. I think there could have been more. This has nothing to do with fun facts. This is just me going off on a little tangent for a second. Can we switch the people who speak at rallies? I'm a liberal. Liberals are so fucking annoying, dude. The shit we say, we get up and talk, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, no wonder they're not coming over to our side. What the hell? For some reason, every rally I've been to, we cannot figure out the sound. Are there no liberal sound guys? Are there no liberal sound people? In my mind, they're just like really old white dudes that are in like bars and they're running sound for cover bands. And they're the best sound guys out there. We can't get one of those guys. I bet if you paid him in some Marlboros. What is that cigarette company? Marlboro. I bet if you paid him in a pack of Bud Light, they'd come out and they'd run some freaking sound for us because no one could hear anything. There was a woman with a megaphone and she kept going, psh, we can't hear you. And I'm like, I can hear her. Can she come up? Her sounds great. Let's get that bitch up here. She sounds cool as shit. Anyways, couldn't hear anybody, and I am convinced because randomly the crowd would just be like, yeah, and I'm like, you can't hear. How do you know what they're saying? I'll get up there. I won't even write a speech. I'll just say it from the heart. And you know what everyone will be doing after that? Action. We'll be shitting on staircases, throwing tampons through windows, dude. And let me tell you, I got a heavy flow. Those bitches are heavy. That will break a window. Todd Rokita's desk. Have fun signing executive orders with my uterine lining, Todd Rokita. All we did was we went up and we listened to people go, trans lives matter. They matter to us. We're here. Don't talk to me about this shit. We all agree. We're all here. Why don't you get up there and you say, hey, when I look out in this crowd, I do not see scary people. I am not frightened by this crowd. But do you know who is? Donald fucking Trump. He is real scared of this crowd. Let me tell you, he doesn't want us congregating, okay? But more importantly, he doesn't want us shitting on the stairs of that Capitol building right there. So if you have to take a shit, might I suggest the stairs of the Capitol building? And then on Monday morning when they come in, they got to step around our little piles of shit. Make it fun. Get like hopscotch. So they got to through our shit. Do something. Standing around talking about stupid ass shit. It's annoying. We're annoying. We're whiny. Oh my God. I was literally standing there like, shut the fuck up. They were like, we're beautiful. And everybody was like, yes, we are. And I was like, what the fuck does that matter? You know what's really beautiful? A little period blood painting on that fucking window right there. The Capitol building. Why aren't we doing anything? Like, take some action. Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox. Or if you want to put me on one, I'm just saying, the next Little Women's Rally, if you want to go, here's Kaylee from Sorry I'm a Bitch. Think of the impact that would have. And I'd get up there and I'd go, I know I named my podcast Sorry I'm a Bitch. I got to be honest with you. That was my co-host. That was her name. I, however, am not sorry. Maybe we should have just said, I'm a bitch. Maybe I was sorry when we named the podcast. I'm sorry, I'm not a bigger bitch. Maybe we should name it Sorry, I'm not a bigger bitch. I will do better. Maybe tomorrow. It's 10 a.m. I can't. Maybe at 3. Okay, cool.
If you like what you're hearing so far, give us a follow. We are a brand new podcast and we do everything ourselves, so your support quite literally keeps us going. And don't forget to tune in next Tuesday, right here on Sorry I'm a Bitch.